Hi, this is Bill Paxton. You may remember me from my show, Big Love, that was on HBO, where I had 3 wives. Forget about Jennifer Goodwin. It was all about Jean Triplehorn. She's beautiful. Beautiful lips, beautiful eyes. The hair, the height. Anyway, I'm here to tell you that Mike's Daily Podcast is a completely independently produced show. Unlike most podcasts that you listen to, I'm sure, that come from networks and radio stations and other places where it's not done in some guy's basement. Now that's the important thing. It comes out of a guy's basement. Really, isn't it? I'm Bill Paxton. So listen to the independent podcasters out there. The ones that can't afford to be on iTunes front page. Because you got to pay money for that. You need the coin to see the... No, wait. You need the green to be seen. That's right. I'm Bill Paxton. Big love. Dang, I wish I had 3 wives again. Here's the show. I mean, Mike's Daily Podcast.
This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 824. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today, more uncanny shenanigans with the characters Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer, and is the beautiful, uber-rounded, dulcet-toned voice of Lester Holt going to replace Brian Williams? Now there's more of a chance of that happening. We'll find out why.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And on the last show, Madame Rutabaga said she wanted to go to Florida with me and fly.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Baby, don't understand why we can't just belong to each other's hands. Mr. Lyrics that make you lose the fleshy parts that make you a man. I used to date a woman who liked soccer. This was last year. She was a bitter sports groupie with a dislike of my dog being near. She also acted like she knew everything, and she was condescending.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
A relationship like that, I skip the beginning and go straight to the ending.
Mike's
so Madam Rutabaga
Daily
might go to Florida with me.
Podcast.
Tell me something about that. Sounds really weird, doesn't it? Her wanting to go to Florida with me to see my mom. Odd. Look who just walked in. Hi, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Oh my god. I watched the Academy Awards. And Neil Patrick Harris is like so funny. Yeah, he's definitely got a bit of a performance bug in him. And Mike Matthews, wasn't Lady Gaga like so wonderful and beautiful? Yes, I really enjoyed her trumpet tattoo. Mike Matthews, there's more to her than just her trumpet tattoo. I know. Her beautiful voice. It sounded beautiful. Trumpet tattoo. Dang it, Mike Matthews. I'm sorry, one-track mind is what I have. Yeah, but what I have also is Basil the Boxer, who's right here. And he wants to play, playing with Basil the Boxer. That's great. Yeah. I won. Yeah, and look who else just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere the Engineer. Mike, you mentioned Mr. They were a fantastic 80s band. Yes, in fact, I saw them at Disneyland at my grad night in 86. They were really popular then, and they played at this place at Disneyland called, what was it called? Videopolis. Yeah, going to the top, Videopolis. That was their theme song. Whoa, Mike, I love that song. It is beautiful, isn't it? Yeah, and Mr. was there, and Richard Page, the lead singer, he at one point, right before the song Kyrie Lacing Down the Road That I Must Travel played, it had that little opening with the keyboards, and he's raising up his hands, and before he starts doing the Kyrie Lacing, he goes, remember, in life, things get really bad, and then he cussed or something. boy, I cannot remember that for the life of me. I just remember him giving us some advice, some friendly to the teenager, like, the world's going to screw with you. Maybe that's what he said. I don't know. It was very, as you can see, it moved me, and I remember it now all these years later. Let's hear it for Memories from Grad Night. That little bit was probably a heck of a lot more than most teenagers remember from Grad Night. Like, why does Maddie Big I want to go to Florida with you? Because I'm going to go see my mom this year. I didn't get to see her last year, and she had a bunch of horrible things happen, and I am going to see her, and I think Madame Rutabaga wanted to be there because she's never met my mom. But I think in some ways Madame Rutabaga would fit in perfectly in Daytona Beach because, well, they have a huge senior population. Mike Matthews, I love seniors. Yeah, they do. They play bridge, and they shuffleboard. And my mom loves the ocean. That's why she moved. She loves the warm water. And then when I go and visit her, I go into the warm water. And then I go, wow, it's funny. I live in California and I never go into the ocean. But here I am on the opposite side of the country and I'm going and dipping in the water. Mike, that is odd. And Floyd, you are a purveyor of oddness. Thank you. And you know, what I also discovered is that we use Yelp a lot to find out. In fact, there's a band that I'm going to be speaking to tomorrow called T-Bird and the Breaks. And they are amazing. You're going to enjoy their music. And I'm going to play you just a little clip of a remake they did. You're going to recognize this song, but they do a phenomenal version of it. And they're in Oakland tonight. In fact, go see them. They're going to be at the Leo Music Club tonight in Oakland. And they asked me, where can we go to eat? Asian food is what they wanted. Asian food, because they're from Austin. And so what did I do? I looked up on Yelp. And I'm very anti-Yelp in some respects because they skew what you see so that you're not seeing what's actually out there. You're seeing the ones that people advertise. The people that put a little money into Yelp's coffers. Then Yelp gives them more exposure through their website. However, when I went to look at Yelp today, I see your trust is our top concern. So businesses can't pay to alter or remove their reviews, it says. What? Are they correcting my perception? It says advertisers get ads, period. There's no amount of money a business can pay to manipulate their reviews or rating, and Yelp doesn't skew things in favor of advertisers or against businesses that don't, is what they say. But you don't have to take our word for it. They say an independent academic study, not commissioned or paid for by Yelp, found that advertising plays no role in how our reviews are recommended on Yelp. So they're trying to help their image here. There's been a lot of stories written in the local press here in the Bay Area about how they manipulate what you see. But I guess they don't, supposedly. There's even a cartoon on this page that shows a building, and it's got a billboard on there, and it says, I bought this ad on Yelp, and all I got was this ad on Yelp. And they say, money doesn't buy anything but ads, so you might be wondering if a business pays Yelp to advertise, do they get a higher rating? Do they get their negative reviews removed? Can they recommend more of their positive reviews? No, no, and no, they say in bold red letters. And there is a lot of red letters on Yelp. So the band T-Bird and the Breaks playing tonight at Leo's Music Club in Oakland. They do a remake of Fooled Around and Fell in Love. And I was just blown away when I heard it.
Well, I fooled around and fell in love. Yeah, I did.
So I'll be talking to T-Bird of T-Bird and the Breaks on tomorrow's show. And Mickey Thomas originally sang that with the Elvin Bishop Band. Of course, he went to be on, he was later with Starship, Jefferson Starship and Starship. And then I spoke with a woman that had met Mickey Thomas, and she's got an awesome dog that is like a mini Min Pin Chihuahua type mix. And it's brindle like Basil the Boxer. And I met up with them yesterday at a dog park, and they played. It was really cute. The boxer and the little dog. And you know what? I found out something interesting from one of the dog park people there, that there is a happy hour with dog owners at Maggee Park, which is over in Danville. And they do this thing on Fridays at 6 p.m. where you bring your dog and you bring food, and people have this kind of like a little mixer at Maggee Ranch Park in Danville. Now, they're not doing it this Friday because they're closed until this Sunday, because they do this special winter maintenance in the park from December to March 1st. And you know what? I like dog park people. I like people that are into dogs primarily because they're very friendly, very nice, down to earth, not so tense. This was at a dog park in San Ramon. Really nice people. And on Friday last week, I was at the San Leandro Marina Park. And this dog park is like right on the bay, and the sun was setting behind San Matteo. Unbelievable colors in the sky reflecting off the bay. It was wonderful. Oh, it was très sweet, as the French say. Or do they say that? Ah, screw 'em. My goodness, French is such a beautiful language. It's true. One that I shall never learn, for it is too complicated. Then, my Matthews, you won't be able to speak the language of love. You mean amour? What's that? That, Chely, is in fact Lester Holt might be taking over the NBC Nightly News because they're hanging on to their ratings leadership without Brian Williams. This according to LATimes.com. The evening news broadcast anchored by Lester Holt. He's taken over since Brian Williams was suspended. It averaged 10.1 million viewers for this past week. That topped ABC World News Tonight and CBS News. It also was an improvement over the previous week. Holt took over for Williams on February 9th. Williams had been suspended for 6 months without pay for having aired an erroneous report in which he said he was on a Chinook helicopter that was hit and forced down by enemy fire when he was covering the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. His work is being reviewed by NBC News to determine if there have been other discrepancies. Holt has been Williams' primary substitute in recent years, and he has often maintained the broadcast ratings when he was in the chair. But NBC Nightly News did lose its advantage among viewers in the 25 to 54-year-old age group that advertisers favor when they buy spots in news programming. I'm amazed that that age group is even watching television news at all and not getting their news directly from the internet, through podcasts, etc. World News Tonight won the week in that category, 25 to 54, edging Nightly about 17,000 viewers. It was the first weekly victory in the demographics for ABC since the week of December 29th. What do you think about Lester Holt? What do you think about Brian Williams and that whole thing that happened? And Madame Rutabaga on a plane with me. I have a feeling she's going to get plastered. And what do you think about the dog parks and dog park people in general? And have you ever been to a Yappy Hour? Was it fun? Does that sort of thing float your boat? And was Mr. Mister the best 80s band? You know they were name-checked in that Train song, Hey Soul Sister. Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section Emails from Email. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. We also have the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, where there are links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. In iTunes, if you subscribe to us there, you can also rate and comment on the show. If you do that, more people find out about us. And like Bill Paxton was saying at the beginning of the show, it is very difficult to break through, especially when, though advertising doesn't affect what you see on Yelp, apparently it does affect what you see on iTunes. And I base that directly on hard evidence in my gut. You can also listen to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, and Spreaker. And tell your friends about the show through Facebook. Like the Facebook page when I post a new show. Share it with your friends and more people find out about us that way. You can also follow us on Twitter and retweet us when we post a new show. We're also on Instagram, Yelp, and Tumblr. Links to all of those at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Another way to support the show is Amazon. There's an Amazon link at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Whenever you buy anything on Amazon, go through that link first, and that helps us out too. You can also read the blog, see the daily podcast picture, and hear all my past interviews at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. As we walk outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
In 2007, my ex-wife and I drove cross-country from Los Angeles all the way to Huntsville, Alabama. And along the way, we drove through New Mexico and hit this incredible hailstorm. And you can see the picture. My ex-wife was driving, I was taking pictures, and freaking out. Just huge chunks of hail falling out of the sky. I'm like, how are we even driving right now? There's like ice on the ground. But she was a trooper. She kept the pedal to the metal, and we flew through that storm. It's definitely one of the high points of our trip. It was like a 5-day trip from LA to Alabama. Basically going from LA to AL. Odd when you think about it. Or maybe not so much. See that picture now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Mike Matthews, that really was an odd story. And hail is really frightening. You know, she and I got into another hailstorm about a year later. And we were driving in Huntsville, Alabama. And the sky just opened up. And I was driving this time. And I'm driving. She's on the phone with a friend of hers. And it was just coming down, hail. I don't even know how she carried on the conversation. I think at one point she reached over to turn the volume down on the radio, even though it wasn't on, as if turning down the volume would turn down the volume of the impending weather event we were having. But no weather event today. In fact, beautiful weather here in Podcaster Valley, California. And Basil the Boxer is quite happy. As you see, he wants to play another game. And that time I won. Mike, I don't know. It looked like a tie. Yes, Mike. I think you would have been chided by your fellow friendly dog owner people as to the outcome of that game. God, you talk so slow. Sorry. My thoughts were not forming correctly, but I am very smart. It's true, you are, and you're an engineer. You know, 100 years ago, there were no engineers. They just called them mechanics. I don't know if that's true. I based that on hard, cold facts in my gut. Next show, it is the fantastic interview that I do with the amazing band T-Bird and the Breaks, and we hear music from them. Plus, we will hear from Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!